Good evening everyone and welcome to the fourth round of the Esports division here in F1 Total. We are at the uh, Interlagos circuit, the Brazilian Grand Prix. Yeah, for the fourth round of this series. Obviously, we all know this track very well. We've seen it plenty of times, both in league racing and real Formula 1, and especially in real Formula 1, I'd say it's always a banger. And in league racing, I would say it's probably not one of my favorite tracks to watch, but it's not terrible. I don't mean like that. I mean it isn't quite as good on the game as it is in real life to watch races on, but it's still a very enjoyable track. The weather can play a big factor, and yeah, with the high chance of rain around a track like this. Okay, being told weather report will be all dry, so thank you to, who was it? Luca, TGT Luca, for letting me know about that. Okay, apparently a high percentage early on, but it goes down, but not high enough that it will be likely rain. That's interesting. But of course, I mean, we do run the approximate weather setting, since it is, in my opinion, at least a better way than perfect, given that it shows a percentage of how likely the rain will be, and what it actually means is how much rain there will be. Like, at the higher the percentage, the more rain you will get. And also, it shows more accurately at what time of the race there will actually be rain, which is a bit ironic, given it's called approximate and it's like more accurate than perfect. You also saw NLR Toby retire immediately. That is because NLR were given a qualifying ban after the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. They exceeded the 5 penalty point limit, meaning that one of the drivers, Toby, will have to serve it today and start from the back and miss out on any chance of points in qualifying as well. So work to do for NLR. On top of that, we do have a bigger grid now. We're back to 19 drivers after last week's disappointing turn. A lot of teams got penalty points last week for missing drivers. Today only one team is missing one driver, which is Ecos. You can see only one Ferrari in this lobby. So yeah, we are back to a more normal sized grid today. With the top 15 going through into Q2, that means, well, Toby is out by default. We're missing one driver. So that will be P18, 17 and 16. 3 drivers getting knocked out here in Q1. 4 if you count Toby, but of course, with him serving a qualifying ban, that is always predetermined. I mean, unless unless somehow more than 3 people don't do any lap time, that when you get into Q2, but still wouldn't be allowed to drive, I don't think. Both by the game and by the league's rules. If he somehow gets into Q2 despite not doing a lap, he will not be allowed to drive, just to clarify that. But I don't think that will happen anyway. It's a very unlikely scenario, I would call it. So yeah, first driver who's going to start a lap here is Mazepin for TGT. Just coming around the first 2 corners here, the Senna S. He's on the intermediate tire, so he's just getting warmed up here in qualifying, of course, Q1. I would say the first few minutes, the pressure is not really there. Drivers can just kind of wait for the timer to run down and then put in a better lap later on. And they also don't want to really waste any softs. You only have 3 softs available from the start and then get a 4th one for Q3. So that's 4 tires for 3 sessions. Meaning if you use more than 1 soft in Q1, say you use 2 softs in Q1, you only have 1 each left for Q2 and 3, at least fresh ones. So it's crucial to manage your tires in that way, and well, Mazepin here having a bit of a mistake. Purple in the first 2 sectors, given he was the first one across those sectors, of course, but well, this lap is now firmly ruined. But I mean, it's an intermediate lap anyway. These laps are more to just get something on the board, anything. Nobody thinks they will get through on these intermediates, it's just to get out on track. Make sure your wheel and pedals are working correctly, or your controller if you're using that. And yeah, just get yourself basically locked in. And you can see more, like most of the grid. I think there's a few people out on soft. Like Crossliam is the only one out on softs right now. Actually, no, Rosa is on softs as well. So 2 cars out on softs at the moment. A few more softs which are in the pit lane. But most of the field currently sitting on the intermediate tires and yeah, wanting to do their competitive lap times later on in the session. Mika, the first one to put a time in at 13.6, which is not very competitive, of course, being on the intermediates, and immediately a full second faster than that, so clearly getting accustomed to the intermediates better, LRN, Cass. But now it won't be the first proper time in the session, a 109.7 from Rosa Sky for Ecos. Goes into P1 using the soft compound. We've gone with Liam here for Relentless. He's gonna have to hope he can get close to that time of Rosa, or maybe even beat him. That would be ideal. His tires are 1 lap older since I saw him invalidate the last lap. So I guess he made a mistake on his first time around. Did a second outlap basically, reached out to ERS and went again. So these tires are now slightly worn, might impact his pace somewhat. Has to hope that AlphaTauri gets out of the way on the intermediates, and indeed he does. We can have a quick look at the sector times of Rosa. It's a 17.2 and a 35.0. And now if you compare that to Liam, 16.9, 35.0. So Liam's actually slightly up on Rosa. Looking likely that he's gonna go into P1 here, unless he has made a mistake in the final sector where I was inside the race director. But he hasn't, he's actually way faster than Rosa, 8.8 there, compared to the 9.7. Rosa actually still out on track right now, interesting. Would think he would go back to the pits to get fresh tires, or I don't know. But yeah, that's the first 2 drivers on dry compound done. The rest of the field still on the intermediates. We've got STR Noisy coming around the final corner. Was purple apparently in the middle sector, but I highly doubt it was actually purple. I don't think he would have been faster than Liam and Rosa. And indeed he isn't, it's a 13.1. Oh, Sen going into the wall there, he's got no front wing at all, so he has to be careful. You really don't want to be crashing out while you're on intermediate. Looks like I got in the way of Chris there as well, but not sure if Chris will bother to report it, given it's an intermediate run. Don't think he even really cares. But that is up to him. I think if that were reported, that would likely be a penalty as well. Of course. That's only my my view. Chris, despite that, still putting in a 12.7, going into P6. At the moment, the fastest driver on the intermediates, I'm guessing is Rocco. It's showing soft right now for him, but yeah, if you go to the best, he's on the intermediates. We've got Speclap here on the soft tires as well. The next one will do a competitive lap time, or at least will try to do a competitive lap time. For Alaran, he's got an Aston Martin up ahead of him, which must be Chris. But he lets him through here. By now, most of the grid is on a lap. The top 10 have all put in some sort of lap time, mostly on the intermediates. We'll see what Speclap can do in comparison now to Cross Liam and Rosa Sky. And 9.7 and 8.8 to challenge. And yeah, for now I'm not sure what sort of times we'll be seeing going through Q1 and 2. It obviously depends a lot on how green the track is. It's very difficult for me to judge how much slower Q1 especially is than short qualifying. We can definitely tell a difference in lap times. The drivers are slower than what I would expect from short quality, and certainly Q3 as well. Speclap there, going all the way out to the white line through turn 4. Coming up to one of the Williams cars up ahead, who will hopefully stay on the inside line there. Yes, he does. Looked like a decent lap so far. Spec lap keeping it pretty calm here. No major steering movements on the exits, no corrections. Very smooth, very composed. A 51.6 in the middle sector. Which was purple apparently. We will see as he comes up to the line. Diaz open, going past the pit entry. And over the line is going to be a 1:08.395, a new fastest lap of the session. And he is a good chunk faster than Liam there, close to 5/10. We now have both X-Cars on soft compound tires, Yaham and Gaiten locking now on the mediums here. Noble Guard are finishing a lap on softs at 10.1, 7/10 off Rosa. So he will have to improve, I think. Strange as well on the softs, but he's invalidated. I think the next one on dry tires across the line will be Lockig Lauch on the mediums. So we'll see if he can beat any of those soft runners. It's gonna be a 1:09.456. He is 6 thousandths behind Rosa, but he does beat Noble Gata. Yaham coming up to the line here on the soft tires, so he should be further up the field. An 8.4 just behind Spec Lab. His teammate Gaiten just coming up to the sector 2. What about Eero Strange? He is gonna start another lap here, I think. So Gaiten coming up the hill now towards the line. It's flat out from here to the end of the lap. Diaz open. He is now below 10% ES. Gonna lose a bit of speed here up the line. It's gonna be a 8.004. Just outside the 107s, but he does put almost 4/10 there on Spec Lab. A very strong lap from Gaiten. Adrian Mas has been currently going slow here, so he is apparently abandoned this lap. Doesn't say he's on an out lap. He hasn't done a lap yet, so this probably isn't an in lap either. Weird. We go on board with Eero Strange. He's currently in last place, one of the only ones who haven't put a lap in so far, along with Mazepin and Katowski. Katowski actually currently on the intermediate with 5 minutes to go, so he's running intermediate very late into the session. You would think he's gonna go onto dries at some point here. Surely. Then I can open the, oh, he's actually on dries now. Why did it say Inters then? Weird. Strange now coming up to the line, putting in an 8.641 into P7. We'll go on board Katowski. We've seen him race a couple of times this season, and he's always been right in the front. His teammate Jamie as well there for CPI, 108.029, just behind Gaiten. Jesler for AC, 108.264 has gone up there. And Katowski, the first 107 in this session, a 107.799, just over 2/10 faster than Gaiten. Here we have Anla Mika currently in 17th, needs to improve here. He has now put on the soft compound tires. His first run on the dry tires, 13.6, should have been, was on intermediates indeed. Mazepin as well, the 18.5 was a slow lap on softs. Not a push lap, so he's gonna have to improve. He will improve massively as well. Both these guys in 17th and 18th. I think we will still see a lot of movement here. From 15th downwards, every one of those guys will be able to do a much faster lap time, I think. So it's likely that all 3 of them will jump up massively. At least it's possible. We'll see where they actually end up when they cross the line. We've got IG and Mazepin coming up the line here and putting in a 8.5 into P8. What about Enela Mika? An 8.6 into P10. STR Noise on a lap here as well for Team AC. Just going through turn 6 and 7 and now down into the infield. The slowest part of the track here, these it's not really a hairpin, is it? But it's not a 90. How do you describe these corners right here? I'm not entirely sure. But the slow corners around this Interlagos circuit. He's up by 4 seconds. Of course, given he's being compared to his intermediate lap time, he will be up massively. That is to be expected. And up to the line, what's it going to be for STR Noise? How far up the grid can he go here? It's going to be in 8.572 into P11. So now that everyone has put in a lap on the softs, Gutowski retiring in the pits, yeah, that 7.7 should mean he's relatively safe. Yeah, Lockig Lauch, who was on the mediums, I think, yep. Sen and Noble Gata are currently the ones being knocked out in Q1 here. But Rosowski, I would say, is very much in danger, especially given that Lockig Lauch will likely improve by a significant margin once he puts on some softs. Which he certainly will do, because currently he's not through. And there's also a pretty significant gap between Rosa and Liam up ahead. It's almost, yeah, that is 6/10, isn't it? So, a lot of time needed for Rosa to gain if he wants to get into Q2. He's out. Okay. Oh, but a bit of a mistake there into the final corner. That might have cost him some time, locking the rears. He was up by close to 6/10, but I think that might have cost him. That might have cost him his chance of going into Q2. He doesn't have enough time to get back in the pits. I'm not sure he'll be able to improve on used tires. A 109.1 still gains 3/10 there. But will this be enough to secure himself in P15? Lockig Lauch only needs to gain 3/10 once he puts on those softs. Sen and Noble coming out as well, out of the pit lane. Jamie retiring in 3rd place, Rocco retiring in 6th place. Yeah, I would say those guys are relatively safe. I think this is between Rosa, Lockig Lauch, Sen and Noble Gata. It's also a pretty big gap between Sen, Noble Gata and Rosa that they have. They are 9/10 behind them. So unless they made major mistakes on their first lap, it'll be a tough ask for them to beat Rosa and get that 15th place. And of course, Lockig Lauch now coming out the pits as well with 1.5 minutes to go. He doesn't have all that much time to left until he needs to be crossing the line. He should make it though. He did go out in time. So there's another car coming into the pits now. IG and Mazepin. He's cutting it very closely. Coming out at 1:15 and in traffic as well. Let's let some people through. Noble Gata, that is, I think, who just finished the first sector. He's up by just under 2/10. So a decent start here. Let's see if we can find any more time. 109.134 right now is the target time. That is what P15 Rosa has done so far. That is the time to beat if you want to get into Q2. So, can either of the PAFR drivers or Lockig Lauch gain enough time to knock Rosa out? Is Rosa still pushing? I think he is actually. We'll see if he's able to improve on his previous best. Oh, Noble! With a bit of a mistake there. He was up by a full second. It would have been enough actually to beat Rosa. I think he's just thrown the way there on the exit of the final corner. We'll see. As he comes up to the line, it's going to be a 109.610. He still gains 5/10 and now crashes himself out. So even if he were to go through, he would not be able to drive in Q2, given he has no car anymore. Rosa isn't validated. Lockig Lauch and Sen are the ones to look out for. Sen up by 2/10 after the first sector. Let's see, after middle sector, how much is he up by? Will it be enough? 5/10. Unless he made a major mistake in the final sector, this will not be enough. Had a bit of a slide in the exit of the final corner. What about Lockig Lauch? He's up by 2/10 in the first sector. Sen coming up to the line. Has he done enough to beat Rosa Sky here? He hasn't. 109.553 into P17. That means Lockig Lauch is the only one who can now knock out Rosa. Time is up. It's between these two. How much is Lockig Lauch up after the middle sector? It's gonna be 6/10. This should be enough. This will be more than enough, in fact. And now he's going around the final corner. From here, it's flat to the line. It should be relatively safe. Lockig Lauch is about to knock out Rosa Sky. And that will be the end of qualifying 1 here. It's gonna be a 108.643. Goes into P15. So just about into safety. For the ERO driver, it's gonna be Rosa, Sen, Noble Gata getting knocked out, and Toby at the qualifying ban, of course, knocked out by default. Top 15 going through into Q2, and now ready to battle over a place in the top 10. And if you look at the gap from P10 with a 108.440 to P15 with a 108.643, that's only 2/10. So I would say there's yeah, a good chance for anyone within that group after Chris, I would say, or the point 2, yeah, the 411 in P7 to a 643 in P15. That's a very close group. So if any of those guys make even a minor mistake, losing a temp or two, they could be in danger. So yeah, Gutowski in P1, followed by Guyton and Jamie, Specklab, Jesla, Chris, Rocco, Crossliam, Mika, Cass, Jaham, Strange, Mazepin, Noise, and Logic Lauk through to Q2, then Rosa, Sen, Noble, and Toby eliminated in qualifying 1. So now it gets to the, I'd say the crunch part of qualifying. Qualifying 1, the first 10 minutes or so, it's relatively chill. Drivers aren't really pushing from all that much, but now going into Q2 from the get-go, even if they're on used tires, people will be pushing, will be trying their hardest compared to, of course, the intermediate runs in qualifying 1. Are not gonna be very serious. The drivers are not gonna be trying to push their hardest and risking a crash for a lap that is ultimately just pretty much worthless, those intermediate runs. But here we are then for qualifying 2. So yeah, 15 drivers left, the top 10 going into qualifying 3. Everyone from P11 and downwards getting knocked out. And the top 10 then fighting over, of course, obviously the starting position and as well as some points. Here in the F1 Total Esports division, points are being given out for qualifying. It's 10 points for the pole, 8 points for P2, and then 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 down from P3 to P8. And I did see some intermediates down on one car, so is someone just wanting to prove me wrong here? Yes! Adavan cars has put on intermediates. I'm not sure why in Q2. Interesting. Very unusual. I mean, you see this a lot in qualifying 1, where people are just kind of waiting for the clock to run down, so they might as well go out on intermediates and, I don't know, not just sit there in the pits, but in qualifying 2, most often what you see is people running the used soft from qualifying 1, and then on the second run a fresh set of softs, if they need it, which they most often will. But, yeah, Cass and Noise, actually, 2 drivers, opting for a different strategy here. Of course, with Brazil being a relatively short track, they might be able to get 3 runs in Q3. Maybe that's what they're trying to do? I mean, it's not really, if the inter run, like, or if the first run doesn't end up being good enough, if they go out straight after the inter run, they will have enough time to do a second one, so, this isn't like a major risk they're taking or anything. It's just mildly interesting, I would call it. Unusual. So yeah, TGT Chris here, I think the first one in qualifying 2 will put in a lap. Going down towards turn 4. Purple, of course, in the first sector. Staying in 5th gear here. Through the Disco del Lago. And now coming up to turn 6 and 7. Going on to 5th gear actually. Most drivers, I think, opt to use 6, but you can definitely run 5th as well. I think either works, depending on your driving style. Taking a very wide line. And now down towards the end of Sector 2. It's gonna be a 51.5 for Chris. Looked like a very good lap so far, very clean, no major mistakes. Exactly what you want as a banker. Now Diaz open up to the line, it's gonna be a 108.324 for Chris, which I think is pretty decent. The first time we saw in Q1 was a 7.7. And that was of course set by the absolute alien that is Gutowski, who's coming up the line now and is about to put in a 7.8 once again. Jamie now at a 7.9, the second driver in the 107s here. We've had 3 laps in the 107s and they have all come from CPI. Noise on the intermediates, 11.8. We've got a Alpine coming up to the line, that's Jesla for ASE. 51.5 in the middle sector, which is pretty close to Chris. And in the end he is still pretty close to Chris. 108.354 for Jesla, 108.324 for Chris. 30,000 of seconds separating those two right now. IGL Mazepin coming up to the line as well for TGT, and it's gonna be an 8.134 going into third place. We have Enla Mika coming up as well here. Where's he gonna end up? Looks like a 108.563 into P7. Jam behind him, 8.6. McLaren coming up to the line there, but that is Skitowski on his way back to the pit lane, I think. Next one across the line should be Rocco then. Hasn't put in a lap so far. Dia is open now. And where's he gonna end up here? An 8.732 into 9th position. Will have to improve later on if he wants to secure himself into Q3. His teammate Liam was on a slow run here because he is, the 1:15 right now, so this will not be a competitive lap time. Spec lap on the mediums actually. Dia is open. Where is he gonna end up here? Doesn't actually finish the lap, goes straight back into pit lane. Cross the lane with a major mistake through the center S. And I think he's still going, but that has cost him a lot of time there. He's down by 6/10 in the first sector. Another major mistake now through the Ciudad del Lago, going way wide off the apex. Not a good lap for Liam here at all. Lockig Lauch on his first one as well. He'll stay on board with him because this is probably going to be a better lap than Liam's lap. 16.9 in the first sector will compare to Gutowski. 16.8, so 10th off in the first sector from Gutowski. Just for reference. Down to 5th, George shifting back up to 6th to get better traction on the exit. Getting the car rotated in nicely here. Onto the power as early as he can. And now back down the hill. Coming up to the end of sector 2, it's gonna be a 51.7, which is a bit slower than what we've been seeing so far, I think. Still went purple apparently, but that was definitely not purple. Up to the line. Low on ERS here as well. He should just come up to the line. Just below 10% here. And it's going to be an 8.602 into P8. And I run cars on the mediums as well. Euro Strange on the soft compound. Those are the two drivers on the left right now. Liam ended up going back to the pits. 51.9 for cars on the mediums. What about Strange? Where is he gonna end up here in the middle sector? 51.6. So I think just a little bit faster than his teammate. Alaran cars over the line. Where is he gonna be? 108.800 P11. So he's gonna have to go back to the pits, get a soft zone to make sure he can improve. 8.480 for Strange. 7th position. And at the moment, nobody on a push lap now, so for now these positions are secured. Spec Lab hasn't done a lap so far at all. He's currently on the soft compound tires. Noise as well, his first run was on the intermediates. I mean, the thing is, Cars on the mediums can improve a lot, Noise was on the inters can improve a lot, Liam made a major mistake, I'm not sure where he'll end up on pace, but he definitely can improve a lot. The question is how much. Spec Lab hasn't put in a lap so far at all. So any of these guys outside the top 11 who are far off have a good chance of improving by a lot. And I mean, Cass isn't even far off despite being on the mediums. And then the top 11 is pretty close here. With Rocco on an 8.7 and then an 8.6 and another 0.6, 0.5, 0.4. So I would say nobody is really safe right now. Maybe apart from the top 3, top 4. I would say Katowski, Jamie are definitely safe, Guyton's definitely safe. Mazepin might be safe with that 0.1. But after that, I think that anyone is still within a chance of getting knocked out here. We'll see how it plays out. Spec Lab with an 16.8, sorry, in the first sector. A good start to this lap. And of course he needs a good start. He only has 6 minutes to go. So you can't really afford many mistakes anymore. I'm not sure if he even went for a run earlier, or if he just stayed in the pit lane. Oh, apologies. So yeah, Spec Lab here. Coming up to the end of Sector 2. Where is he going to end up on time here? A 51.2. That is very strong, I think. Believe Chris was doing 0.5 and he is in P5 with a 0.3. So 3 times faster than that. Speculab could be on the edge of a 0.7 here. Speculab up to the line 107.914 into third place. A very strong lap from the LRN driver. And a good position to be in there. Third place. I think he is pretty safely into Q3 now as well. Liam coming up to the line. Will be his first proper lap, I would call it. 108.42 to 8th position. He's into Q3 for now, but he's certainly not safe in that position. About 5 minutes to go, I think. I can't see it right now because of the yellow flags. Yeah, just over 5 minutes to go. You can see it now on the top left. So everyone will have one more lap here. Rocco up by 4 tenths. A big improvement coming from Rocco, it seems. 4 turns would put him in the 8.3s around sort of area of Chris. Which would be not entirely safe, but I think a very decent position to be in. 8.2, 8.6 in the end, P6. That might be enough. I think Jester just went into 5th there with a 7.982, so now 5 drivers in the 107s here. Times are getting faster and faster, so maybe my assumption of Mazepin maybe being safe was not entirely correct. He definitely is currently out on track and trying to improve. So he thinks he isn't entirely safe. Noise over the line, 8.151 into 7th. Mazepin is invalidated. Rocco is currently on a lap back to the pit lane. Alaran Kastner out on track on the softs now. He was on the mediums earlier. So a good chance he will improve massively. Letting Rocco pass, he was on his way back to the pit lane, so hopefully that won't cause any problems once Kaz starts pushing. But no, he's leaving a good gap to him, so should all be fine. Mazepin going back to the pits here. Probably getting a fresh set of tires, the car refueled, and then trying again. I mean, everyone outside top 10 will definitely still be going for another run. They're not gonna just sit there and allow themselves to be knocked out, surely. So, Kaz coming up to turn 1 here, braking just after the 15-meter bird, going a bit deep to the center S. And it seems he has abandoned the lap already with that small mistake. He's already decided, I'm not gonna bother finishing this lap apparently. So he's gonna have to go around one more time and then try again with 1 lap older tires. That's gonna impact his pace. He doesn't have enough time to go back to the pits and then back out. He will have to do the lap at the end of this one. At least he abandoned very early, so he wasn't pushing for long and wasn't putting a lot of strain on the tire. That should help him a little bit with the wear. Yaham for Team X here, coming out in the first 2 corners. Kwiatkowski now retiring in the pits. He thinks he's safe at that 0.8, and I think he is, so only reasonable to not waste any further tires. Half a tenth up in the first sector by Yaham. That would already put him around sort of Mika area, and he still has 2 more sectors to gain time to get himself in that top 10. That's all you need to do in Q2. Whether you're P1 or P10 doesn't change your chances of getting pole. Well, obviously the guy in P1 I would still say has a better chance just because he's apparently better, but not because, I mean, yeah, you get what I'm saying, I don't need to explain it. Yaham now, coming up to the sector 2, 51.560, up by 1.5 tenths. This might be enough to get him to the top 10 for now, but will he then stay there? I'm not entirely sure. Dia is open up to the line. What's it gonna be for the X-Driver? A 108.267 P8. But is he actually gonna end up staying there? I'm not entirely sure he's safe with that. Noise retiring in 7th place on the 8.151. And I ran Kaz. After the failed attempt earlier, he's now trying again. Let's see, how much is he up by after the middle sector? 4 tenths, 51.4, but he's made a major mistake through the final corner. And I think he's just thrown it all away. And that might cost him qualification for Q2. He's coming up to the line. He is actually going to go back to the pit lane. Kaz opting not to even finish a lap. He's gonna be out in Q2 here, in 15th position. Very unfortunate, because he did seem to have decent pace and probably enough pace in him to get into Q3, sorry. Just making that mistake right in the end in the final corner, and it's cost him. He's got Locking Lau here on 8.6. 6 tenths down after the first sector. He's gonna have to try again next lap. Liam is trying again here as well, currently in 11 with an 8.422. Obviously the entire... everyone after Yaham is currently out on track. And then a few more up ahead of that, Mazepin and Speclab as well. Speclab, despite having a 0.9, is trying again here, it's interesting. I think he's on used tires though? Yeah, he's on used tires. He's using the same tires than before, so he's just getting some warm-up for Q3, I think. So Locking Lau now getting ready to start his final run here. Mika down by 38,000 in the first sector. The time to beat right now is a 108.324 from TGT Chris. And of course he is trying to move well. Cross Liam up by 1.5 tenths after middle sector. Chris up by 45,000 in the first sector. Rocco up by 1.5 in the middle sector. So Liam up to the line. What's it gonna be? 108.159 P8 for the Relentless driver. Will that be enough? Rocco coming up the line as well, up by 1.5 tenths. Can he beat his teammate? I think he will. 108.110 P6. And now Chris gaining 4 tenths here, major gain. And that should put him in the 107s even. Goes up to the line, 107.876 into P2. That's Yaham out of the session. Mika is finished on a 5.14 in P13. Yaham is done, Liam is done. It's just strange and Locking Lau. Locking Lau is fun, it's just strange. Ian Strange, the only one who can still improve in the session. Up by 63,000, that won't be enough. That will be nowhere near enough. So has he made a mistake in the final sector earlier? Otherwise I see no chance of him beating Liam to P10 here. We'll see, he's coming up to the line. Has he done enough? Euro Strange, 108.438. Stays in P12, and that's it. Qualifying 2 is done. It is Yaham in 11th, Strange in 12th, Mika in 13th, Locking Lau in 14th, and Aaron Cass in 15th, getting knocked out. With Liam, Noise, Mazepin, Rocco, Dressler, Guyton, Speclab, Jamie, Chris, and Kotowski moving into Q3. I also have some very good news. Jonathan wants me to invite him, so I am about to get a co-commentator. It'll be very good for my voice. Allow me to hand the mic off for a bit, sometimes. So just a second, you'll have the in-game picture back in just a moment once I've invited him to a party. Alright, there you go, the full Q2 results. Kotowski in a 7.810, followed by Chris 7.875, and Jamie in 3rd, Flecklab 4th, Guyton 5th, Jesla 6th, Rocco 7th, Mazepin 8th, Noise 9th, and Liam 10th. That would be the 10 drivers competing for pole position and the points in Q3, with Yaham, Strange, Mika, Locking Lau, and Cass out in Q2. So a very exciting Q3, I think, in store for us. There was a very close field spread there within the top 10 and after that as well. Pressure's on, the drivers have to be on their A game now. Get the best possible lap in here. Right, Jonathan, you should have an invite to the session.
Yes.
Right, and when you join, make sure to press spectate, not join session.
Okay.
This is very important, because if you press join session, you'll be in the Ferrari when the race starts.
I think I would win. What about you?
I disagree. I've seen you drive and it's horrendous.
I know, but Brazil's my good track.
I mean, you also run like every assist under the
Whoa, 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 whoa. Only
under the sun, and the only assist
Only
allowed here is line,
ABS.
so you'd be in trouble.
Yeah, I could learn ABS as a go.
I like how you came here just for me to immediately start slandering you. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
So yeah, first couple of cars out on track now. We've got Jamie for CPI and then both DGT cars going out early. Of course, as always, CPI are the big favorites, I think, for pole here, but they weren't... I mean, I don't think they got a 1-2 in either session so far.
Who's been leading the first two?
Well, yeah, CPI as always. They are really strong today.
Okay.
Guyton has been challenging them throughout Q1 and 3. TGG Chris was in there, Spectler was in there. Jessler, I think, was up there as well in Q2, so there's a couple of names. Jamie is going very slow here up the hill. He's accelerated very late down out of the final corner. That's probably cost him a bit of time on the start of his lap. Interesting. Are you in the spectator view by now? Are you able to see the cars?
Yeah.
Alright, good. So
I
yeah,
did press that.
I'm not sure if you saw the times from Q1 and 2, but the fastest guys were just below 108. So like I think 107.7 is the fastest we've seen so far.
Okay. So we're expecting pole time to be like a mid to high 7.
Probably like a 7.5, I would guess for now. We'll see where they end up.
Yeah.
How much more time they can gain after Q2. Of course, track is going to be a bit faster. I mean, we saw, I think the fastest time in Q1 was a 7.9, and Q2 a 7.7, so a 7.5 only makes sense.
Good.
But yeah, Jamie the first one who will complete a lap here. 51.1 in the middle sector. I think we are already on for the first 0.7, the first 107 here in Q3. Looked like a very strong lap from Jamie as well, from what I saw here. And indeed, it's a 107.911, which is, I think, exactly 1/10 slower than what he did in Q2.
Now Mazepin.
Chris with an 8.6, that is definitely on used tires. Mazepin 8.3.
7.7 from spec lap.
Yep, the new fastest time of both Q3 and qualifying overall, I think. Couple more cars on laps right now. Guyton and Rocco, I think. Got Guyton coming up to end of sector 1 here, and it's a 16.8. So a decent first sector for Guyton. And now Rocco in the mid sector, a 51.3. A bit slower than Jamie, who himself was a bit slower in spec lap, so I think Rocco should probably end up just ahead of Mazepin here. And he puts in a 108.012. Actually a good chunk faster than Mazepin. 3/10 the gap there. Of course, some drivers might be using fresh tires, some might be using used tires, so that will skew the time just a little bit. I think by the end of Q3 though we'll have a better idea of what their ideal pace is. 7.6 from Guyton, a new fastest lap, just over a tenth faster than spec lap. As Liam, a bit of a slide on the exit of the Cinta del Lago. That has certainly cost him some time, probably a tenth, maybe 2. But he's still going on this lap so far, he hasn't abandoned it. Wants to get a banker in, it seems. And for Liam in the middle sector, it's gonna be a 52.0 split time, not very strong at all. This will probably be the slowest time so far in the session. Diaz up to the line. Is he even going to finish? Yes, he is. And 8.888. Indeed, the slowest time we've seen so far. About 2/10 off Chris, who himself is 3/10 off Mazepin, who himself is 3/10 off Rocco, so yeah, not ideal start for Liam here in Q3.
He just didn't seem to be in control of the car there.
Yeah, a lot of sliding going on there, so we'll see if he's able to improve on the second one. It might be using used tires, which probably then over pushing, trying to like compensate for that and just trying to do too much. Gutowski to 50.8 in the middle sector. That is...
It's on course for pole.
Yeah, I think the fastest we saw so far was low 51, so he's just put a significant gap on everyone in in this middle sector. And it's a 7.5. As I predicted, the current pole time 7.5, but we still have 5 minutes to go, so I'm guessing we'll still end up seeing faster times here. Just over a 10th separating Gutowski and Guyton now on the front row.
16.8 from Jezza in the first sector, but he's gone a little bit wide through turn 4.
He's got away with it. Interestingly, I thought I was going to be invalidation, but the game disagreeing. Running a bit wide in the exit of turn 8 there, I think. Sacrificing his exit, his entry into turn 9. That might have cost him a bit of time. Or maybe not, maybe he knows more than I do. And that is actually the correct line to take. 51.1 in the middle sector, so certainly not bad. Maybe he did take the correct line, maybe I just have no idea what I'm talking about. It's very likely actually, I think I do just have no idea what I'm talking about. That's why I'm commentating and not racing, you know. Dressler 7.873 into 4th position.
And Jamie's getting a lovely tow from his teammate to the line here as he's 2 tenths up.
That will have helped him a bit, probably gained a tenth or two. And he puts in a 7.512 new fastest lap time.
Good teamwork from the McLaren side. A CPI are now provisional 1-2.
Yep, 4 minutes to go. That was... I'm not sure if Jamie can do one more lap, if he even will bother to do one more lap, if he can improve on that without a slipstream. Since he likely won't get a slipstream here. He has 4 minutes to go. I think he has enough time to go back to the pits and go out one more time if he wants to.
It's just whether he has enough tyres.
That as well, yeah, of course, tyres. I was more thinking that the last run, where he probably will not get a slipstream from Gutowski again, he would need to be so much faster than the first and second sector to make up for that. I'm not sure if he'll be able to do it. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, 3.5 minutes to go. Most drivers in the pit lane right now. Dressler and Jamie on the way back to the pits. But we are about to see the final stages of qualifying here. The fight for pole, the fight for the first points of the evening. Well, not evening, afternoon more like. I'm so used to saying evening in league races, I just flips out when it's races not in the evening. Spec lap here for LRN, already going out. 3 minutes to go, so he's gone a bit early here. Opting to avoid the traffic completely. Although that might cost him, because if the rest of the field goes out in like 1 minute, they'll be right in front of him when he starts his lap. That would be slightly annoying for him. Yeah, nobody else out on track so far. I think the one car moving now in the pits. Spec lap is gonna get traffic here. Unless everyone goes out like right now, which they won't, so he has to hope that everybody's very aware of him and gets out of the way. He might even get out in front of most of them now. So he might even have gone so early that he, yeah, is still safe from traffic anyway.
So 2.5 tenths needed to get pole position. Let's see what he can come up with on his final run.
Trailbreaking all the way down to the apex of turn 1. Very nice line to the center S. That was very, very strong, I think. Hugging the curb on the inside line all the way through. The center S on the exit, the curve of the soul. And he's down by 8,000 in the first sector. So that shows just how high the level is. That looked like the most ideal first sector I've seen in my life, and he's still down in his time. But now in the middle sector, this is where most of the time gain is. These slow corners can gain so much time if you get a good exit. If you get the car rotating in nice. Get it hugging the curb on the inside and the apex. And Speclab is doing this very well here. And now at the end of sector 2, it's gonna be a 50.927. He's up by just over a tenth. And now up to the line. Is he gonna be able to beat Guyton, to beat Gutowski, to beat Jamie? Dia is open, up to the line for Spec Lab. A 107.593. He beats Guyton, but it isn't enough to beat Gutowski and Jamie. For now, it's third place. We'll see if he ends up there, or if anybody else manages to improve by enough. Noise and Liam have started the laps now. Mazepin coming over the line. Everybody going for their final run now. 16.8 in the first sector for Noise. 16.8 as well for Liam. Both having good starts to the lap. Mazepin also 16.8. Guyton with 16.7, slightly faster. Gutowski and Jamie both starting their runs as well. Both CPI cars here at the same time. Noise will be the first one to, next one to cross the line. And he puts in a 51.1 in the middle sector. That is slightly off what we saw from Spec Lab. About 2/10 slower. So Dia is open, up to the line. Where can Noise end up? He hasn't got any sort of banker in. That might hurt him a bit. 7.857 into 5th position. We'll see if he ends up being beaten by anyone now. Guyton will be next one across the line. He's purple in the middle sector. He's up by 2/10. Guyton might steal the pole position here right at the end. A 7.373, a very impressive lap time. Jamie up by 1.5 tenths. What about Gutowski? I don't see a delta at Gutowski's POV. That is slightly annoying, but Jamie over the line. Is it enough to beat Guyton? It isn't. 7.443 does gain. Gutowski over the line. 7.330. The two TGT cars, 7.750 and Mazepin back in the pit lane. That's it.
Gutowski on pole.
7.330, then followed by Gutowski 7.373. Jamie 7.443 in third. Speclab in fourth 7.593. Jessline 6.7689. Chris 7.750. Very close all the way through here in qualifying 3. And I think we are in for a very exciting Brazilian Grand Prix. That would be one hell of a DRS train, I think. So there we go. The full results confirmed. This is your top 10. The top 8 getting points. Gutowski getting the full 10 points for pole. Guyton second, getting 8. Jamie 6 points for third. Speclab 5 points for fourth. Dressler 4 points for fifth. 3 points for Chris in 6th. Noise bringing home 2 points for AC in 7th, and Rocco in 8th with a 7.902, getting 1 point for Relentless, and then Liam and Mazepin not scoring any points for their teams with an 8.024 and 9th and 8.310 in 10th. So that's been the qualifying here around Interlagos. Mazepin there, the only one who has got a pretty significant gap in the car out of him, I'd say, due to not getting that final run in, I think. Just didn't get any sort of clean lap in, I think, in Q3. I think the first one might have been on used tires, and then the second one was just bad. Yeah, but here we are on the grid for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Who would you say is your favorite to win the race now?
I think the McLarens, either one of the McLarens. I'll go with Gutowski go. I think having the two of them up there right at the front is going to help them.
It's a very good point. Certainly helps to have two cars up there, playing a team game. You can split strategies, you can work together, give each other DRS, give each other slipstream when making passes. Opens up so many opportunities. But it's also a risk, I would say, if there's a safety car, for example, that the car behind has a double stack and drop back so far. But of course, even in that case, you still have one car at the front. It's still a good place to be in. So it's certainly a positive in every aspect. I'm still gonna go completely against what I just said and predict Guyton for the race win. Guyton has shown great pace in Q1, 2, and 3, and I've seen Guyton race a lot. I know he's a very, very strong driver. And adding to all of that, I also don't want CPI to win again. It's boring. I need someone else to bring the fight on them, and Guyton is exactly the guy who can do it. So here we are, on the grid, the 5 red lights are on. And it's lights out, and away we go. And Guyton getting away well there. Jamie alongside Guyton into turn 1 actually. Gutowski keeping the lead. Jamie on the outside line, moving into P2. It's a CPI 1-2 for now. So Lucas battling behind Chris and Dressler side by side, down into the cover of the soul. And Chris on the inside line, moving ahead of Dressler. Guyton having a little look at Jamie. Is he going to send it up the inside? Yes, he is. Squeezing Jamie over the white line there on the exit of the Lago as well. Bit of movement as well down the... oh my god, 4 wide there. Down the field, I'm not sure who that was. Rocco is round! Rocco's been spun around.
Yeah, Patari's off, he's out.
Sen
out.
into the wall. How's that end up? He end up there. Virtual safety car been deployed.
I think he just got a little tap off someone and he just couldn't slow the car down.
Yeah, Rocco and Sen with incidents, but I think 2 separate incidents. I don't think they came together because they were in very different parts of the field. I'm not sure what happened to either of them. Just a virtual safety car. I'll have a look at the tire graphic. Mostly hards, few mediums. Oh yeah, true, it's a good idea. Race director, incidents. Nobody got a... Mazepin got a warning for collision with Rocco. So Mazepin and Rocco must have come together.
And maybe that's what caused Sen to go off?
I think he tried to avoid him, just lost the car in the process.
Yeah.
Could be. We'll also have a look at the position changes. You can see Toby, of course. Toby is the biggest winner here, going up from 19th to 13th. Of course, after serving the qualifying battle, he's already right behind his teammate. So a very good start for Toby here. Apart from that,
in
Cass
the top 10.
as well, getting 4 places. Strange getting 3, very strong start. And Rocco, well, Rocco and Sen are the biggest losers here. Rocco losing 10 places, Sen losing 2. Yaham as well has lost 3 without any major incidents, so that's a disappointing start I would call it as well. But now back under green flags, the race has been restarted. Gutowski already a 1-second gap to Guyton. So he's already out of the DRS range. However, Guyton has at least managed to split the 2 CPI cars. He is between them, and now if he can burn a bit of ERS, get back within DRS range for Gutowski, that will help him defend from Jamie as well. Chris making use of the mediums here, putting pressure on Specklab, going to the outside line into turn 1. He's going to try and hang it around the outside all through the center S. Doesn't need to actually. Specklab opting not to stay alongside him. Meanwhile, Mazepin moving past Noise for 7th. Cass also putting good pressure on Strange here, now making use of the DRS, the tire advantage as well. Can he get past him here? Mika moving past Liam at the same time. And Mika taking 11th place. Castor not able to move past Strange. Guyton is back within the second of Gutowski. Chris has moved up to 4th on the mediums, but he's not within DRS range to the top 3. So right now top 3 are on their own. Toby and Liam having a little battle. Toby trying to hang it around the outside of Liam here. A very brave move, a very nice move, and now to the inside line. Toby has the advantage. The better tires as well. And he does move past Liam. A very nice move, very nice battle, very respectful. Both of them leaving space for each other. Exactly what you want to see. Oh, and there's a car around. Noise! At the final corner. Cass taking the opportunity as well to move past Strange, so maybe Strange was involved in that incident, got caught up in some way. Strange now coming back at him into turn 1. 3 wide actually.
3 wide.
Toby, Strange and Cass. Oh, the Alpha Male there, I think that's Toby almost losing it. It might have been Mika actually, it was Mika, sorry, not Toby. But now down into the Ciudad del Lago. Mika following very closely, but he can't find the gap. Strange though, going for it on Cass. Has to pull out. And Toby now, alongside his teammate. Is he gonna move past here? Yes, he is. I think Mika letting him go a bit as well there, as he's very low in ERS. And Toby with a major understeer there. Oh, and Cass goes off! What a weird spin. He went to the inside and back to the outside. I guess he overcorrected. And he's gone off. Now he doesn't have any damage though, he didn't go into the wall. He's dropped down to P16 though. 2 NLR cars now in P9 and 10. True, he might have touched the grass and locked the rear tires.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really know what happened there. It was a very, very weird spin to see. Toby now burning off ERS, wanting to move past Euro Strange for P7 here. There's a pretty big gap between 7th and 8th there. Toby into P8. Mika wanting to follow through at his teammate, but he isn't able to. Yaham, I think, just tapping the back of Mika into turn 1 there. You can see Mika correcting.
Interesting to see some drivers are basically out of ERS already, and we're only on lap 5.
You can see a lot of heavy battling. They want to be in the furthest possible train, it seems, and as far as possible, like, as high a position as possible within that train. Mazepin moving past Jesla for P6. Meanwhile, the top 3 are still in the world of their own. 1.6 seconds to Chris from Servers, 1.3 to Spec Lab. Of course, big question is how that will develop over the course of the race with Chris being on mediums. I'm not entirely sure if it's an advantage to start on mediums, if it's the smarter strategy. I'm not sure what I would go for in that situation. I of course haven't prepared for this race in any way because I wasn't driving, so I didn't bother to like... I mean, I did my research on what the possible strategies are, but I didn't cover like every single possible detail. What has happened to Rocco and Kaz? They've crashed into the final corner in a full course safety car. Mazepin immediately into the pit lane. Gutowski, is he past the safety car? Yes, he is. So we should be fine to pit next lap without losing any time.
Is that the ideal strategy if you're on the hard tires, or would you just stick it out?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to do. The only reason is like the general strategy what you go for, and what I found was medium hard or hard medium. I didn't do all that much research on when you pit for what safety car lap and what tire you go into. Also have to drop an invite to Noble Gata, I just realized. Thankfully the safety cars brought him back into the race. He disconnected. I don't know when he disconnected. I must have missed that. Right, I've sent him an invite.
The worst place to be at a safety car is always first. Because if you pit and then no one else pits, you've lost tons of positions, but if you don't pit and everyone pits, then you're just going to be left on your own on old tires.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's not as much of an issue on lap 6 out of 36. If you pit right now and you drop to last, you have a lot of time to make up for it.
Into the pits.
A lot of time to make up for the...
Stay out. Jamie and Guyton.
Gutowski, oh! A 5S for speeding the pits.
Chris pits as well. Spec Lab stays out, so does Jeslar, Toby and Strange.
Very few drivers pitting here. Gutowski, Chris, Rosa, Noise coming in now, and then of course Mazepin, Liam already pitted.
Gutowski will just in the points. Obviously has that 5-second penalty now as well. But double medium to the end from here.
Might even be a medium soft from here to the end, I think. Just...
that's...
Oh, I'm not sure if he even... I don't think he has fresh softs left from qualifying.
We know the advantage of fresh tires on this game as well.
Yeah, I think Gutowski, Mazepin, Chris, Liam, Rosas, Noise, and yeah, those guys are gonna fly from the field here, I think. Yeah. Strange is spun! He's stuck! Strange is stuck! He's reset the track now, he has to, of course. I'm not sure how the stewards handle that, actually. In the rulebook it says a 10-second time penalty, but if you're stuck, is there an exception? I should know, I wrote the rulebook, but... well, I guess the stewards are gonna have to decide on that one. If anybody bothers... if nobody reports it, he gets away with it. I think my thought would be it's fine if you have no other option.
Yeah.
If you're fully stuck.
I would feel very hard done by if I got a penalty, because you'd get disqualified if you don't.
Yeah, I think in that sort of situation it's fair enough. I mean, if you're like fully stuck and you're trying to move, you lose you lost like so much time there as well. Well, that's other safety car doesn't matter.
And so is Gutowski, so he's getting rid of that 5-second penalty.
Yeah, Gutowski's gonna drop to last place here though. That's gonna be an issue for him. Strange coming in. Well, I guess now that he is
with a pen or P16 without a pen.
Yeah, I think Strange is thinking, well, now that I've lost track position with the spin, I might as well pit to get fresh tires because I don't lose all that much anymore and get way better tires. Gutowski on mediums once again, coming out in last place, of course. I mean, the problem that these guys have now, There's an AI car in 14 still. I did invite Noble Gata back in. I'll check my messages, see if he's sent me anything. But he hasn't joined so far. Ah, ideal timing. He is getting an error. Ah well, that's annoying. Sejka should be in end of this lap though. Everybody has caught up. So Strange and Katalska definitely gonna have to deal with this AI car in front of them. That will cost them a bit of time. Because of course they can't pass it before the line. They have to hope that this AI reacts quickly. I mean, thankfully there's no corners between where Gaiten will decide to go and when they're allowed to pass, so they shouldn't lose all that much time, but it will definitely still be annoying. But yeah, Gaiten now setting the pace, he can decide when to go. And he's gone early here. Has he caught Jamie off guard? Kind of. 3/10, he's safe in the turn 1, but for how long is he safe? Yaham passing Mika before the line. Lets him back through though, of course, as he has to. Gaiten keeping P1 into turn 1. Jamie might have to go into turn 4 though. Mika moving back past Yaham into P6. Meanwhile, already the fresh medium runners battling position here. Mazepin defending from Liam. Toby moving past Dressler. Yaham moving past Mika. Mika diving back up the inside. Mazepin moving past Lockig Lauch. And now trying to get alongside Yaham on the outside line. And, oh my god, Mazepin is going to send on Mika as well. No, he isn't. Yaham moves back around the outside line of Mazepin. He's gotten back ahead. Mazepin goes off there into the grass. Goes wide and allows Lockig Lauch to slip through once again. Contact made a little bit. Lockig Lauch has to correct to the outside line. Mazepin slipping through on the inside. So much chaos here with these fresh tires. Guys from fresh tires trying to move through the field quickly. Noise moving past Chris there from the mediums compared to the hards, both on fresh ones though. Still a slight advantage in favor of Noise, of course. Meanwhile at the front, Gaiten still in P1 here. Jamie is now maybe having a go to turn 1. He's got a good slipstream here. He actually goes off the throttle. He doesn't want to go for the move. He stays behind on purpose. Mazepin going for the move on Yaham round the outside in turn 1. It's a 3-way situation, the turn 1 behind them. Look at this. Noise, Liam, Gutowski and Chris all battling at once here. Noise moving past Liam, Gutowski moving past Chris, and now Gutowski trying to get Liam as well. Gutowski on the inside line of Liam into turn 4. Does he have the advantage here? Yes, he does. Moves ahead of the Redness driver. His next target will be Noise in his challenge to move back through the field after dropping to the last place. Algier Mazepin, the furthest up of the guys on fresh tires, currently in 7th. Gutowski and Noise already battling again. Noise seemingly has sent it on him. He's trying to get back to position. Gutowski has defended it nicely for now. Now Liam diving it down on Noise. Bit of contact made. Noise. Oh, that was close. You could definitely see the slide.
Yeah.
Good reaction from Noise to keep that car under control. Gutowski now burning his ERS, wants to get past Lockig Lauch on those old tires. Keep an eye out as well at the front. Toby and Spacklab side by side in turn 1. Meanwhile, Jamie and Gaiten as well. Toby moving up into 3rd place. And now Yaham and Lockig Lauch into turn 1. Gutowski wasn't able to actually find the gap. But now the switchback on the exit of turn 2. Lockig Lauch is very slow on the exit. And now Gutowski being boxed in here. There's 3 wide in the turn 4. Lockig Lauch pulling out. Gutowski on the inside line moving through. And Yaham on the outside line now. Lockig Lauch slipping through as well. Both Lockig Lauch and Gutowski moving past him. Mazepin going for the move on Mika. On the inside line through turn 6 and 7. Contact made on the exit. But thankfully both cars keeping control. What a battles all over the field here in the midfield. The cars on fresh tires trying to move past the guys on old tires. Liam having a look here at Yaham. Contact made on the rear right tire as well. But Liam going through without any further drama. Both cars still in the race without any damage, I think.
And Gutowski is now already caught up to the next pack.
And he's already in back of Mika. Gutowski is moving through here so quickly. Meanwhile, Noise now the DRS. Jamie taking the lead from Gaiten. I just missed that, sorry. There's too much going on here. Noise moving up into 9th. Meanwhile, Liam moving past Chris. And now Lockig Lauch moving past... Strange moving past... Yeah, I'm sorry. I keep losing track of who I'm on board with. It's just I'm flipping through everyone so quickly. Just trying to catch every little bit of the action, but it's so difficult. Meanwhile, Guyton and Jamie so close to each other into turn 4. Guyton just staying behind there. And Gutowski has got his next target inside. He sees the flashing light on Mika's car. He knows he's low, and yes, Mika's lost it! Mika spun and Guyton went into him slightly there. Guyton might have picked up him as well there. Mika, I'm not sure what happened. Maybe he's locked the rear tires. The car just went round on him as he went into the corner. Dropping down to 15th from that spin. Mazepin moving past Dressler for P5. Gutowski. Has he picked up wing damage from that? He definitely made contact with Mika. We'll see if he goes for a pit stop or if his pace drops significantly. Yellow flags again. Mika once again.
Mika again.
I guess the first spin cooked his tires and now he's just trying to keep control and struggling to keep control. Keeping an eye on the front here. Mazepin putting pressure on Toby now. And a really good exit through turn 2. Tries to get alongside on the outside. Toby leaving him the space. Mazepin knocking Slipstream from Speckland up ahead. And he is going to move up into P4 here. Toby actually letting him go. Guyton moving past Jamie again. But Jamie on the exit of turn 4. A switchback side by side down into turn 6. Guyton on the inside. Moves slightly ahead of Jamie. And secures the lead for now. That battle is far from over. Those two will be battling for the next, I don't know, 23 laps probably the rest of this race. Mazepin's now moved past Speckler as well, sending it up the inside into turn 10. Making good use of that braking zone. And he's now got Jamie and Guyton in his sights already. Mazepin really making the strategy work. Making good use of those fresher medium tires. Gutowski now moving past Dressler for P6. Yellow flags for Lockig Lauch on the excellent final corner. He's had a spin.
Jamie definitely had the speed to go into P1 there, but he chose to not go with it into there. He'd rather get the toe down towards turn 4.
Yeah, you can definitely tell he's playing it smart here as he's now...
Here he comes down.
Mazepin trying to slip through as well. He is half committing to the move. Yeah, I just had to back out there, just not really properly alongside the apex. If he had gone for that, it would have definitely been a crash. So smart from Mazepin to, yeah, not end up going for it. Now he sends him though, up the inside of Guyton. Guyton leaving him the space, seeing him on the inside. And now around the outside of turn 9. Can he go all the way? They are still side by side, down into turn 10. Mazepin on the inside line, slightly ahead. And Guyton can't stay alongside. Mazepin moving up into second. Gutowski now side by side with Speckler. Into the final corner here. Speckler on the inside line. Gutowski, can he hang around the outside? He goes all the way up onto the curb on the exit. And gets ahead of Speckler, making use of those fresher mediums still. Up into P4. Gutowski and Mazepin flying through the field here. The next car fresh tires is Noise in 8th. Mika now out of the race. And that's brought out another safety car. And this time, will Jamie come out ahead of the safety car? You can see the safety car just there on the left-hand side, coming out the pit lane. It's crucial for Jamie to be ahead of it so he can pit now. And I think he will be just about. And this opens up so many strategy opportunities. You can pit now for fresh mediums and go to the end. Mika there, throwing this race upside down once again. Noise there almost going to the safety car. Not sure if you saw that, but that was very close. Safety car moving to the racing line. Almost like it was trying to take out Noise. Thankfully he saw it coming, I think, and slowed down just in time. But yeah, I think we might be seeing everyone pit now to go to the end. If they have fresh mediums at least.
What I find weird is the safety car stopped up towards turn 6 on the first one, but on the second one it stopped at just before turn 4.
That is weird. Why does it stop at a different place? Well, we'll see who's gonna come in now. I think everyone's gonna come in. That will lead to some drivers losing places from double stacks. Gutowski is one. He will definitely double stack. Noise will double stack if they both pit. Anybody else who is like right behind his teammate? I don't think so. I think everybody else should be fine. We'll see if anybody's gonna try and stay out here. I don't think so though. Yeah, everyone is coming in. Not a single driver staying out here, of course. Oh! As I say
Oh,
that,
Rosa.
Rosat will take the track position, stay on the 9-lap-old mediums, and jump up into P1 here. And indeed, Gutowski with the double stack has dropped back quite a bit here, I think. Where's he gonna end up? He's 9th? A wing change as well for Gutowski, so he did get wing damage from the incident with Mika. So he's gonna drop back so far. He's dropped back all the way to 12th.
Wow.
So Gutowski has it all to do once again. He's gonna drop behind Yaham as well here, so 13th for Gutowski. The second time this race is dropped so far back now. He's only ahead of Lockig Lauch and Noble Garter. Has it all to do in this race once again. Mostly mediums. Hearts for Toby. So those will come good towards the end of the race, I think. Lockig Lauch and Noble Garter on Hearts as well. And then, of course, Rosa on the old mediums. So, well, Rosa is going to cause, I think, chaos here, because everybody will try and get around him as quickly as possible. He's trying an unorthodox strategy here. Yeah, Mika now, of course, now leaving the session. Has no reason to stay at this point. I mean, he's not going to hang on to that position very long. It's not very difficult to pass around Brazil. And those fresh tires will be so much faster. He's going to be losing like 2 seconds a lap, I think. Maybe more.
Who, Rosa?
Yeah, Rosa compared to the guys on fresh tires. Oh, Speckler has been passed by Toby, who was going to go back to the pit lane. What?
Interesting.
So Toby dropping down to 13th, maybe 14th. I'm not sure if he ends up ahead of Lockig now.
And if you remember when we were racing last Sunday, we both stayed out under safety car. The tires just died. And compared to those fresh softs we were against.
Yeah, fresh tires are such a major advantage. Even if you gain like 10 places of track position, it's only really worth it if it's like the last few laps. Then you can try and gamble and defend as hard as you can. But you can't defend for 18 laps, so
no.
Rosa is definitely going for a gamble here and hoping for some, I don't know, carnage causing a safety car, and he can pit then and have even fresh tires. Maybe that's what he's trying to do. Toby, he didn't even change his wings, so he just pitted just to have mediums instead of hards. He thinks mediums are that much better that it's worth dropping from 6th to 13th to get them. Or 7th, I think he was. Interesting by Toby. I think in his position I would have stayed out, but
we should see it come in now this lap.
Yeah, I think so. Noble hasn't quite caught up yet. But he will catch up just before he safely crossed the line. There we go.
Yeah. So Rosa will lead us away. What will he do? Surely he goes late here because he has those older tires.
I mean, I'm not sure how much Rosa is even thinking about Jamie. Because he's not going to be able to hold Jamie for like even a single lap. Jamie's gonna dive him with the first possible opportunity. Jamie does not want to be stuck behind him for any amount of time. There we go. He's gone very early, and look at Jamie. Look at Jamie coming in. He's gonna go to 1. Yep, there we go. Inside line. Jamie goes for the move. Just as they said he would. And meanwhile, Guyton getting swarmed by Mazepin here. Mazepin picking up a 3-second penalty. But Rosa blocking Mazepin in, and now TGT both moving past Rosa. Chris into P3, attacking Guyton as well. Guyton moving back out to the outside line, defending Chris's attempt. Speckler moving past Rosa, who's already down to P7, P8 now. He's dropped back 7 places within 1 sector. And another one, Strange moving past as well. Everybody is just eating him up here. Yaham's gonna go for the move here as well. Noise is gonna follow through very soon. Oh, Gutowski going in the back of Yaham there.
Seconds.
Noise trying to hang it around the outside. On contact as they both try and move to the inside so they can get past Rosa. Yeah, that was I'm sorry I laughed at that, but that was a disgusting piece of race crowd, I'm sorry. That was horrendous. They're side by side, they're both pushing each other like to the inside line to try and dive bomb Rosa. of course it was gonna end like that. Rossa's been sent into a spin. The other two are still pointing in the right direction. Rossa, the innocent bystander in that.
Safe
Yaha
to
moving
say
past
it wasn't
Noise.
the best strategy
Gutowski
at all.
on the inside going past both of them. Although, actually, Yaham on the exit gets back past Gutowski. Gutowski really pushing here to get back from the field. This will be much harder this time around because he doesn't have any kind of tire advantage that he had earlier. And he's still stuck behind Yaham. Meanwhile at the front, Jamie 9/10 ahead of Guyton, and they are both on absolutely 0% ERS here basically. And I mean that's gonna put Guyton in big danger of the two TGT cars behind, who have a lot more ERS. And they are staying within his DRS range. So Guyton, if he doesn't get within DRS of Jamie, he is in big trouble. Gutowski, he has a good chance of getting Yaham into turn 1, I think. Yaham doesn't have slipstream from the car, he's 1.4 behind. DRS isn't activated just yet. I think it will be at the end of this lap. So maybe it's the best move for Gutowski to actually wait until turn 4. But he doesn't seem to be doing that. He's already moving to the outside line of Yaham and claiming that 9th position. Yaham very low on ES. Indeed, DRS enabled now. Guyton is just outside 1 second though of Jamie.
Versus burned all the zeros to get in right close.
Noise moving past Toby for 11th. And indeed, Guyton hasn't got DRS from Jamie. And he's got both TGT cars right behind him, putting pressure on him. Gutowski now has to try and get back into DRS with a strange up ahead, otherwise he'll be under pressure from Yaham behind. Currently running in 9th on his second comeback of the race. Oh, Noise and Yaham are both off! What has happened to these two right here? I think Noise went for the dive bomb on Yaham and just deadlocked wheels? I didn't see the entire incident, so I'm not gonna judge who was at fault, but that was a very strange incident to see. Allowed Toby to slip through the 10th. Guyton indeed did not hang on to DRS. Mazepin moving past his teammate for 3rd here. Or is he? Yes, he is. Chris let him through. Camera angle there was awful, I couldn't see it. So now Guyton's
stretching from 2nd all the way to 9th.
Yam in the pits.
Really
seems to have wing damage from the incident with Noise. Noise seemingly fine. So yeah, Guyton is now under, I would say under risk of being passed by both Aston Martins. They're gonna try and teamwork their way past him, I think. Make use of the fact they have 2 cars fighting against 1. Of course, Speckler and Dressler just sitting behind and waiting for their chance. Liam is also within DRS range still, but looking at the gap between him and Dressler, he doesn't seem to have quite the same pace those guys have. He is just about fast enough to hang on to DRS. Gutowski coming in from behind, 1.2 seconds away. Can he get into this DRS train so he can start challenging for the further up positions? Of course, Mazepin with that penalty, that would be crucial as well. 3 seconds for Mazepin right now. It's gonna drop him back quite far in this train. Speckler now going for the move on Chris actually. Round the outside into turn 1, Chris. Braking late on the inside. Speckler now on the inside through turn 2, back to the outside for turn 3. Contact made! Thankfully. Those kinds of contacts, like the rear tire to front tire, can very quickly lead to a spin. Speckler now once again using his flatland speed to go to the outside line, and this time he gets ahead of Chris into turn 4 and takes P4 away from him. Mazepin side by side with Guyton at the same time, battling over P2 here, and Mazepin takes it away from him. Dressler now getting past Chris as well. Chris losing many places at once. He goes very far off the track there as well. And Dressler on the inside line takes position. Chris' tires are dirty now as well. Doesn't have quite the same grip the Alpine does. And Chris dropping back from 3rd to 4th to 6th there in just a few corners.
All this battling has allowed Jamie to get clear. He's now 2.3 ahead of Mazepin. He obviously has a penalty, so Guyton's the next car to challenge him. But he's again another 50 tenths back.
Yeah, Guyton now going for the move once again into turn 1, reclaiming the position he just lost, and a rather easy move given Mazepin has no defense at all. I think what they're going to be doing for the next 13 laps or so is just recharge ERS, because right now it doesn't make any sense to use it. They're gonna swap places every lap anyway. Or almost every lap, even without using. If they both don't use ERS, they'll swap places every lap almost. And they'll be more safe from attacks behind. The question is, of course,
to get through the field this time.
if that's actually what they're gonna do. I mean, for Mazepin, it might make more sense to try and get up into P2, given his penalty. So he's like further away from the cars and the back end of the train. Doesn't really matter to him whether he ends up ahead or behind Gaiden crossing the line. It's just about getting as much distance between them. Oh! Well, that completely changes things. Gaiden out of the 5 on the podium, drops down to 9th. Just behind 10th even, just behind Toby.
The spec lap's up to P2.
Yep, Spec Lab taking the 2nd position in this race.
That just looks like he just dropped it himself.
Gutowski has moved past Strange for 7th. Oh god, the sound glitch's getting horrendous by now. Mazepin might come back at Spec Lab into turn 4, has a look up the inside, but he's got absolutely no ERS. Gets it done anyway though, just through pure DRS. Jesla alongside Spec Lab as well, trying to slip through here. The AAC driver wanting to take advantage of the 2 cars ahead of him battling, but he isn't able to. Spec Lab securing 3rd place for now. 12 laps to go in this race. Jamie is miles away from these guys, 3.5 seconds by now. Could pick up a penalty and still win. Obviously he doesn't actually want to get a penalty, always a risk of a safety car. Spec Lab is probably about to re-overtake Mazepin into turn 1, reclaim 2nd place. These guys are going to be swapping places quite often here. Gaiten and Toby as well, very close behind each other. A battle for P9 brewing there. And now Spec Lab. And probably Jesla as well, actually. Jesla on the outside line, yellow flags in the final corner. That is
lucky like.
Yep.
Is it? Yeah.
Yep. With a spin. Toby moving past Gaiten into P9. Mazepin dropping into 4th here, behind both Jesla and Spec Lab, not able to move back past him. Gaiten moving back ahead of Toby. Swapping places into turn 1, then once again to turn 4. Gutowski has moved on to the back of this train now, he's already past Strange and now behind Liam. He's a bit low on ERS, but there's still 11 laps to go, and with his pace advantage over these guys, I wouldn't even count him out for a podium still. He just needs to find a way around these guys in the DRS train. A very difficult task.
Just gotta bide his time, really.
Yeah, tricky spot for him to be, and he knows he's faster, he knows he could easily overtake these guys if they didn't have DRS each other, but they do. And now Liam actually going for the move on Chris, sending it into turn 1. And Chris on the outside line being squeezed to the inside in turn 2. And now Liam moves ahead, and that's terrible exit for Chris. And Gutowski has a good chance of getting him here, but he doesn't actually use his overtake mode. Chris coming back at Liam around the outside in turn 4. Going with Gutowski, see the action from behind. And Chris with the terrible exit. Gutowski, very good racecraft from him there, taking advantage. Letting these guys make mistakes, and he's moved up to P6. Next target for him is Liam.
Sometimes it's just better to sit back and let the guys ahead just battle out in front of you.
Yeah, and then take advantage when they inevitably make a mistake.
Yep.
So now he only has Liam separating him from be P4 on penalties. Oh, but a bit of a mistake there. Mazepin actually dropping outside DRS range to Jesla and Spec Lab. So those two are managing to pull ahead now. And that puts Mazepin under big pressure from behind. Gutowski now going for the move on Liam, inside line. Down through the final corner into turn 1. Jesla moving past Spec Lab at the same time. Strange moving past Chris at the same time. And Gutowski takes 5th position. And chances are he will get Mazepin next corner as well, given Mazepin doesn't have DRS up ahead. Mazepin moving to the inside line.
Down towards turn 4.
Yeah, Gutowski in the outside line. Just moving past in the straight. Mazepin has no ERS still. And there we go. Gutowski has moved up into P4. Very good race from him there, gaining 3 places in just over a lap there. Very impressive stuff from him. He's now 1.5 behind Specklab and Dressel though, so he needs to try and close that gap once again. Which will be very difficult to do.
And he's also has to try to get clear of Mazepin.
I don't think Mazepin is much of a threat because his EAS is so low. Oh! Well, now he certainly isn't a threat. Liam going into his back, they're both into the grass.
And through goes Chris.
Yep,
And
Chris and Strange both going through, and they're now all outside DRS into Gutowski. Mazepin being rear-ended by Liam. And now Specklab trying to hang on to the DRS of Dressler here. Both trying to stay as far away as possible from Gutowski. Securing the position,
sure
Toby and Guyton.
Down that home straight got DRS from Noble Gather. He's lapped. They managed to stay ahead of Specklab there.
Yeah, it seems likely. Also worth mentioning, Rosa is on fresh softs. Not sure, I didn't see him pitting, but I must have just missed that. So he's probably trying to go for the fastest lap, which currently is a 109.776 from Jamie. So if you see a fast lap from Rosa pop up, don't be surprised. I think fresh softs are a major advantage, especially now we have a lot less fuel in the cars than when Jamie did this lap, I think. Would have done on when the mediums were fresh probably, which was about 12 laps ago. The battle for the front places has calmed down a bit now that the trades have separated from each other. Dressler and Specklab came out on top now on their own, sitting in second and third. Gutowski chasing them down. Strange, Chris, Mazepin and Liam still battling over fifth. And Chris, about to overtake Strange, takes fifth position. Mazepin going through as well. Is he on the inside line? Side by side with Strange. Going for the switchback through turn 2. And gets it a nice one there. To the outside line. Very good exit. And now getting the toe from his teammate down the back straight here. But doesn't have any ERS, and that allows Strange to pull ahead slightly into the braking zone and secure 6th position. Mazepin, I mean, he is not managing, like, it's not even bad ERS management, it's just no ERS management. He's like constantly on 0. It's making it very difficult for him to get moves done. Meanwhile, Jamie he's actually being caught up to a bit by Dressler and Specklab. They were over 3 seconds at some point. Now they're down to 2.9. But I think that might be down to Jamie just like chilling out. He doesn't need to push it at all. He's very safe in P1. The gap is pretty big. I'm not going to close it down within the next 7 laps. Specklab going for the move on Dressler into turn 1 and gets ahead nicely. Dressler not even trying to stay alongside there. I think they are both like very happy to just not battle as hard and not invite Gutowski into the battle. Oh! Mazepin is round! Went for the move on Strange, missed judgment I think. Dropping down to 8th and now 9th as Toby goes through as well. Guyton a bit further behind, will not be able to get past him. With Mazepin getting the penalty applied after the race in 3 seconds, he will drop behind Guyton there as well. Unless he can build that gap once again.
Gutowski seems to be slightly faster than the two ahead, but the DRS on the home straight just drags him just that little bit away.
Yeah, that's the big issue for him here. He just seems to be hovering outside, just outside a DRS range, going to the final corner every lap, and then they fly away, like in the main straight and the back straight, by like 5/10, and just not possible for him to get into DRS range and get involved in the fight. And I think Dressler and Specklab know that, which is why they aren't battling hard. They are just swapping places whenever they're close enough, and they aren't going side by side into any corners. They don't want to risk Gutowski getting involved and taking their position. Mutually beneficial for them not to battle as hard. Yellow flags for a
Williams.
Yeah, but it has got going again. This time Gutowski's only 1.3 behind. This might be enough for him. Guyton now moving past Mazepin. Toby actually got a penalty as well. He's got 3 seconds now. So that will drop him behind Guyton as of now. And the sound just got... Oh, Jesus, horrendous. Do you have it as well? when your engine sounds like cut off.
Yeah, I was thinking it sounded. Do you remember at the start of the F122 game?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
exactly that glitch, but for the spectator instead of the driver.
Yeah.
It's horrendous.
I
I
thought it was
can't
just me,
believe
to be
people
honest.
drove like that in F122 for like what, like
A
2
month.
months until they fixed it.
Yeah, I thought it was just me hearing things, to be honest.
Oh, yellow flags
Ooh,
for IGL
Mazepin's
Mazepin.
completely off.
Round at turn 11. Still in P10 though.
Safety car is not out. Sometimes they can just come out for those kind of things. We see Yarham pitting for some fresh sauce.
Chris gonna get 3-second time penalty. That's gonna hinder his chances of getting that P5 he's currently sitting in.
Kwiatkowski got DRS on that lap.
Did he?
He did.
Strange. Going for P5 here on the inside of Chris. Chris. Oh Jesus, going a bit wide, sorry. And inviting pressure in from Liam as well.
So could we see a late challenge for Kwiatkowski to the podium?
He's just inside DRS range now. So he's gotten
The
them involved in the
ERS for the other
fight.
two is so much better.
Yeah, so
than
it's gonna be a struggle for him. He needs to play this very smart.
Yeah, you gotta give it to Speklap and Jesler. They've played this very smart.
Yeah, now Gutowski's the one who hasn't played smart. I mean, Gutowski has been playing it smart this entire time after he dropped down to last twice. And he's now back up to P4 and within contention for a podium still. Now Jesler's starting to use a bit of overtake. Now they're starting to battle a bit harder. Gutowski's lost a lot of time down this main despite the fact he has DRS. Jesler has taken P3. Gutowski didn't get DRS into the second DRS, I think. Oh, they did, barely.
Did, just about.
He's actually being passed by Yaham there. Maybe that's where he got DRS from. The lap
Maybe.
cars. Speklap reclaiming second place. Gutowski is just hovering.
It's obviously Yarham's fastest lap attempt.
Chris and Strange side by side, going through this corner, cover the Ciudad del Lago, Jesus Christ, I'm throwing the corner names around.
He's got to be
Chris?
careful when going for his fast lap. You don't want to block the drivers battling the P2 and 3, really.
Yeah, he's currently the faster car, so you can just move past these guys relatively
Although if he
without
goes,
causing
it'll
too much
still
car
be
trouble.
quite distracting for them.
Yeah, this is definitely distracting them.
And he
Slowing down a
backs
bit
up
as well to get the
slightest bit just
DRS.
to get DRS.
Yeah, and now he's gonna fly towards the line. He's now past Speklap and Jesler. Gutowski
Yeah.
is definitely within range now.
Yeah.
Jesler is gonna go for the move into turn 1. Reclaiming P2 once again. Yaham actually did not manage to get fastest lap. How far was he off?
He got a 10 flat.
Oh wow, he's 3 tenths off. Wow, okay, on the way
But he
near.
did back off a little bit on that final corner.
Yellow
Yeah,
flags
yellow flag,
for-
that is the pass.
Lucky Lau, I think.
Yes.
Chris
Obviously,
and
too
Strange
late
side
to
by
have a
side,
safety
now on the
car
back straight. Yellow flags again for Lucky Lau. Now Chris hanging around here, so Strange. Toby's getting involved as well in this fight now. With Chris having a penalty. Toby can get a position as well if he overtakes him on track. Gutowski's now all over the back of Speklap. We're moving into the last 3 laps of the race. Lap 34 out of 36. Jamie is still
Kwiatkowski's
sitting
managed to
safely in
save a little
P1.
bit.
Speklap burning above ERS, now activating DRS. Can he get alongside Jesler on turn 1? Does he want to get alongside Jesler on turn 1? Second to last lap of the race, Jesler finding the inside. Speklap going around the outside into turn 1, but pulls back out of it. Maybe has to go into turn 4 to stay on board with Gutowski. Yes, we have a very good view of the battle up ahead. Chris and Strange once again swapping place as well in the background. Speklap on the inside of Jesler, and he moves past him. The battle for 5th as well, raging on here. Chris ahead of Strange. Liam trying to get alongside Toby, but he doesn't have the ERS to actually pull alongside. Noise picking up a penalty. Yaham is slowing down a bit. Yaham might be a big factor in this fight if he ends up giving DRS Speklap.
Yeah.
So we had...
Would you say Noise has, or is it might be too late actually? I was gonna say would Noise have the gap to go for fastest lap? But
Too
it
late.
was
Yellow
lap
flags
too
for
late.
Mazepin who's off at turn 1.
not been his race ever since that moment.
So yeah, now into the last lap. Is Smacklap safe from Dressler? He isn't. Dressler to the inside line, into turn 1. Wants to take this P2. Sorry, what am I doing with the camera? Dressler has claimed P2. Gutowski still sitting behind in P4, but I think now Dressler has got DS in the left car. Smacklap is still gonna try and re-overtake him here. There's another left car coming out the pits there. Dressler managed to defend thanks to the DRS of Yaham. Dressler securing P2 for himself. Smacklap in third. Gutowski still sitting in fourth. I think he's just too far behind here. Smacklap having a look at him into the turn 6 and 7 complex here. There's so many lap cars. What is going on here? With yellow flag constantly as well, with lap cars letting people through. So, we are heading into the final straight here. That's where I think this battle will go down all the way to the line. Smacklap and Dressler are about to have a drag race to the line here.
Well, a little moment from Speckler. But that
Maybe Gutowski actually has more of a chance of claiming P3 here.
It's gonna be right on him.
Well, Jamie coming up to the line here to claim the race win for CPI. A great race from Jamie today. And we'll immediately have to focus our camera on Gutowski and Speckler as they're battling for P3. Gutowski just overtaking the LN driver. Dressler P2, Gutowski third, Speckler fourth. Strange coming up to claim 5th place in this race. Chris in 6th, Toby in 7th over the line. Bird with a penalty. It will be Liam 6th, Guyton 7th, Chris 8th, Toby 9th, and then Noise will take home the final points paying position in the Brazilian Grand Prix for Team AC. Rosa the only one still driving in the race. Who ended up finishing fast lap? Did Jamie keep it? Yes, Jamie kept it. So the full 26 points for Jamie in this race. With Gutowski in third, a great result for CPI, P1 and P3. And once Rosa's crossed the line, that'll be it for the Brazilian Grand Prix.
Take the last points position.
No.
But Noise, it didn't give Noise the... Yeah, he's just finished P10.
Oh, wow. Well, that's unfortunate for Noise. Rosa getting P10. I'm not sure what's gonna end up being done about that. If Noise will get it, Rosa gets it. But yeah, the results say Rosa. Strange being avoided drive today. I would give it to Gutowski. Clearly. What a drive. I mean, a great drive from Jamie as well, obviously, to run away at the front, get the DRS range opened up and fly away from the field. And Gutowski moving through the field from the back twice to get back into a podium position. It's a great achievement as well. Dressler as well, keeping his calm throughout the entire race. Staying out of trouble with all of those little incidents that drop people out of DRS range. He ended up, well, him and Speckler ended up being the ones who stuck it out in the end in that train. And he gets P2 for it, a very good result for ASE as well there. But yeah, these was your full results. Jamie in P1 the first lap, Dressler, Gutowski, Speckler, Strange, Liam, Guyton, Chris, Toby, Rosa, your top 10, with Noise, Yaham, Lockheed Lauch, Mazepin, and Noble Gata finishing outside Tom, and then Mika, Kaz, Rocco, and Sen having DNF'd in the race. So yeah, that has been Brazilian Grand Prix in the Esports division. What would you say? What do you think about the race?
It was action from start to finish. Until the second safety car, we were looking left, right, and centre for places to be overtakes happening every straight, even in some corners. Then after that, the battle for the podium and right to the finish. Obviously, Gutowski made that comeback. You got to give it to him. Like, he was 13th after that last safety car and managed to crawl his way back to third. So, yeah, definitely a great race to watch. What about yourself?
I thoroughly enjoyed it as well, obviously. A really, really great race to watch as a spectator, and I think the drivers that weren't involved in the instance would have had a lot of fun. The ones that were will probably be quite mad, as it always is. But yeah, I'm very much happy with how today's race went, and I'm very much looking forward to well, the next race in the Esports event, which is unfortunately a bit further away. We had a triple header the last 3 weeks around Silverstone, Jeddah, and then Sao Paulo. However, the next race will be after a short break with the Formula 1 starting back up. We'll be back on the 9th of September around the Las Vegas circuit for the American Grand Prix, which I know drivers have some thoughts about the track, and I do as well. Um, it's horrendous. It's a horrendous piece of racetrack, and it's very fun to watch though. It's very funny, I would say. Although I think
Which
with
American track?
Las Vegas,
Oh, Las Vegas.
yeah, it's gonna be quite funny. I think that race more than anything. Although with the stance of drivers in the esports division, I think it will be a lot more of a competitive race that we saw in Division 2 and 1 a few weeks ago when they ran Las Vegas. So yeah, hope you're looking forward to that stream as well. Apart from that, we've got, of course, Division 1 racing in just over 1.5 hours around the streets of Saudi Arabia, the Jeddah circuit. So yeah, I'll have to go ahead and get ready for that as well. And that will be streamed by BS Gabri, so you'll be able to watch it as well if you're interested. And after that, Division 2 as well, on Wednesday once again, at 8:30, 7:30 p.m. UK time, sorry, around Qatar. Hope to be seeing you for those streams. Hope you enjoyed today's stream. Any final words from you, Jonathan?
Pardon?
Any final words from you?
Um, no, I don't think there's anything really to be said. You summed it up well. Thanks for
Alright.
listening.
See you guys on the next stream on the F1 Total channel then. Have a good evening. Goodbye.